Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lollipop and today we are finally moving on to some road bike comparisons on my YouTube channel. It took about 2 years of you guys asking, but better late than never. Anyways, we're kicking it off with a more general one. So in this video, I'm going to go over all of the main differences between the Trek Domane, Emonda, and Madone to help you decide which road bike is the best for you. Now, the reason I'm choosing these three models in specific is because they are the only road-specific bikes that Trek makes. There are some similar looking models to these like the Checkpoint, Boone, FX, 520, and the Speed Concept, though all of these bikes have more specific riding purposes like gravel, backpacking, or time trials, so you would not pick one of these if you wanted a dedicated road bike. But if you are looking into getting a new 2022 Trek road bike and don't know which model would be the best for your riding style and needs, this video will clear it all up since I'll cover the general details as well as the specific components. Let's start off this comparison with this table I made that highlights the price ranges for all of these bikes so you can start to get a feel for who they're for. As you can see here, all the bikes have very expensive top-end models in the range for people who want the best of the best, complete with all carbon fiber components and wireless shifting, but the Domane and Emonda also have less expensive entry-level aluminum models for riders who are just starting out or for those on a budget. The least expensive Trek road bike currently is the Trek Domane AL2, which comes in at $1,100 US. And in comparison, the least expensive Emonda is priced at $2,300, and the Trek Madone bikes start out at a much higher price tag of $4,730 since they are only available in carbon fiber. But onto some actual bike differences, let's talk about the overall category of each bike first. Now here and there, I'm going to try to show you some images of different parts of the bike so you can more clearly see the differences, but basically the Trek Domane bikes are designed to be comfortable road bikes since they have a more upright seating position, wider tires for better stability and comfort, and other features to make the bikes less stiff, like front and rear isospeed on the carbon fiber models, which essentially just gives you some more compliance while you're riding so you can ride for a longer period of time without getting tired. That also means that they are Trek's endurance bikes designed to tackle longer rides, and they can even be outfitted with wider gravel tires to go off-road, specifically up to a 700/35C tire on the aluminum bikes and a 38C on the carbon models. So essentially, if you can only have one road bike to do it all, get a Trek Domane. Next, we have the Emonda. Now, this bike is primarily designed to be as lightweight as possible, and that means it will remove the heavier comfort features of ISOSpeed to give you a stiffer and faster bike where you can really feel the road. It is also designed to be aerodynamic, so it can climb uphill very easily and goes very fast on the downhill as well. Get this bike if you want the lightest bike possible that is also very fast and aerodynamic. And finally, we have the Madone. This bike is designed to primarily be very aerodynamic. You can start to see just by looking at some of these large foils and tubes that this bike is just meant to cut through air as fast as possible. The Madone may not be the lightest in weight, but it will definitely make up for that in terms of speed, especially on a straight run. And since the bike is not as worried about weight, it does get the rear isospeed for more comfort as well. Get this bike if you have a lot of money and want a really cool looking aerodynamic superbike for maximum speed. Now, this is all you really need to start off your journey in picking a road bike, but I will dive into some more specifics now, starting with the frame geometry. Now, I'll put the main numbers on the screen right here, and the bikes are not too different based on these values alone, though you can see that the Domane is a bit more upright since the head tube angle is slacker, which means that the front wheel is pushed forward and thus the handlebars are closer to the rider. Additionally, you can see that the reach value is lower on the Domane, which also puts you in a more upright and comfortable position compared to the more aggressive race positions on the Emonda and Madone. I will now also show the frame geometry for all three bikes, starting with the Domane here, and then the Emonda, and finally the Madone, just so you can pause and see all the measurements if you want to. But next, let's discuss the weight. I'm going to specifically talk about the frame weights in a size 56 centimeter, including both the SL and SLR versions of the frames, so you can see all those differences. So based on this, you can tell that the SLR frame is of course going to be lighter in each respective model, since it does use a lighter and stronger carbon material and weave. However, overall, the Emonda always has the lightest frame, and the SL Emonda is actually even lighter than the SLR versions of the other two bikes. And then the Domane is the heaviest as previously mentioned. But now I'll also go ahead and show you Trek's official values for the weights of some of the complete bikes. So in red we have the least expensive model in each range, which will be the Domane AL2, Emonda ALR 5, and the Madone SL6. And then in green we have the most expensive bikes, so the Domane SLR 9 eTap, Emonda SLR 9 eTap, and the Madone SLR 9 eTap. So once again, you can see the Emonda is the lightest bike, but you can also see how much weight you drop as you go up in price. And we can also talk about some of the components on these models that are clearly different, like the seat posts you can see here, very different designs. The Domane has a specific foil shape to help with aerodynamics. The Emonda uses a seat mast rather than a seat post to help give a little bit of compliance without sacrificing speed. And the Madone is clearly very aerodynamic with that wider airfoil shape. And then similar story for the wheels. Most of the Domanes use the typical road wheels that are not too heavy, but also not the most aerodynamic, and they can accommodate those gravel tires as well. The Emondas then go to more aerodynamic wheels, which also help with climbing and have a deeper rim depth of around 37mm on most models. And the Madone gets the most aerodynamic wheels with a very deep rim depth of around 51mm or even 57mm. Next, for the handlebars, I'll show the higher end bikes here, but you can see here that the Domane uses more typical road bike bars that have circular tubing, while the Emonda goes to a more aerodynamic integrated bar and stem that is still pretty lightweight since it is a fixed component, while the Madone uses the most aerodynamic widest tubing bars, and with these you can adjust the angle of the bars a bit as well. And that's it for this video. I didn't cover any of the brakes or drivetrains on these bikes since they actually mainly use the exact same parts when you compare these similar part spec level bikes. However, in each case, the Emonda and Madone have the exact same parts, while the Domane usually has a slightly different drivetrain geared toward comfort and ease of riding, and essentially easier speeds for going uphill and less speeds for going as fast. But overall, I hope this video helped you out in understanding which bike serves what purpose, and hopefully you'll see more road bike videos from me soon, so let me know what you think and what you want to see next. And besides that, I hope all of you have a great morning today, and of course, remember to keep biking.